See those buttons down there? You see those buttons? Click them. Golly, you're heavy, dude. With the black shirt, it's probably not my best idea. I'm out of breath. The NBA playoffs have just completely gone off the rails, by the way. Yesterday was an out-of-control night of games. Two of the games were extremely close, really entertaining, and the other was super impactful. And I'll be honest, like, we have to start here. At this exact moment, I thought the Sixers season was over.
Beat them this time. McBride, jump shot, puts it in! It's a 6-point lead with 28.9 remaining.
I was thinking about, off-season decisions. How can they change the roster? Like, what this Maxey season meant to the Philadelphia 76ers. Is Embiid ever going to be healthy ever again? At this exact moment, that's what I was thinking about. But Tyrese Maxey had other plans.
Again, the key, not giving up threes. Maxey leans in, and a foul, and one. One thing the Knicks can't afford is a three-point attempt. Maxey launches the three. Oh, he knocks it in!
And I could already see and anticipate all these posts about how bad Joel Embiid was towards the end of the game and why the loss was on him and the Sixers season is on him and all this stuff. Which, to be fair, I mean, he was terrible. I mean, some of these turnovers, I know he basically had a triple-double or did have a triple-double, but he had so many turnovers, so many times we just lost the ball to bounds, not healthy at all, didn't look right, was supposed to play the entire second half, actually sat for a few minutes midway through the fourth quarter. And the fact that this was 7 points in 15 seconds at Madison Square Garden, that's not lost on me. And there's so many things you can go back and point to and say, the Knicks should be in the second round right now. Like, there's so many plays that happen towards the end of this game. They're missing free throws, they're allowing Tyrese Maxey to get into open threes when, open? Yeah, sure, I guess that's the right phrasing. He's touching the logo, but he's still technically open. You could foul up three here, which for whatever reason, nobody wants to do in the postseason anymore. By anymore, I mean like literally the last 2 days. And like the logo three to tie the game was awesome, but this play beforehand, the 4-point play, which by the way, some people pointed out that Tyrese Maxey probably traveled. Yeah, everybody ever travels on these plays where they have someone in the air and they're trying to run into them while they shoot a three. Like, yes, technically he traveled, but like so does literally everyone else on these kinds of plays. And whenever this kind of stuff happens, like there's always things that just get forgotten about, right? Like we're all going to remember the 7 points in 15 seconds. We're not really going to remember the missed free throws. We're not going to remember the fact that Maxey missed like 3 or 4 free throws down the stretch of this game as well. We're not going to remember the fact that this series was almost decided on a flagrant Joel Embiid foul where he smacked somebody in the face and was like, it's not my foul. I didn't foul him. I didn't touch him. And that ends up being 2 free throws and the ball for the Knicks, although I think Brunson missed one of them. Like, there's so many little pieces at the end of this game that, like, people just aren't going to remember. And by the way, it's not like the Maxey shot won them the game. It forced overtime. And then the Knicks were awesome to start overtime, and they still threw the game away. And this series, much like one we're going to talk about later, is suddenly extremely interesting. Like I said, I thought the season was over. I was like, okay, good job, Knicks. You won in 5. Go on to the second round. Now we've got a game 6 at home in Philly. All the games basically in the series have been extremely close. Like this easily could be Philly up 4-1 advancing into the second round. This is far, far, far from over. Game 6 in Philly, game 7 Madison Square Garden if it gets there. I can't wait. This video quality was 1,000 times better than your usual videos. I appreciate that. Thank you for the compliment. I've realized over the last couple of days, y'all definitely used to think I was boring. Which, like, that's fine. That was definitely the style of the video, but it's just funny to read all these comments now about, like, how boring the old content was, how entertaining the new content is. Because, like, it's the same person. But now, and hear me out, I'm having fun. Shocking, I know. And then after all of the Knicks Sixers stuff was happening, I feel like people just, like, didn't pay attention to the fact that also, by the way, the Magic and Cavs were playing. Game 5 of this series was awesome. Paolo was absolutely destroying the Cavs all night long. We have no Jared Allen in this game. So we've got like legitimate, is it Marcus Morris? I'm going to say Marcus Morris. It's one of the two. Marcus Morris minutes down the stretch of a pivotal playoff game. This is a guy that's like barely played in the first couple of games. He's basically just played in garbage time. And now all of a sudden he's out there. Tristan Thompson is playing minutes for the Cleveland Cavaliers because Jared Allen is hurt. And the Magic on the road, this young team absolutely could have won the game, arguably should have won the game, and they just couldn't quite close it out. This has been a thing for them the entire season. They put up the graphic during the game. It's possible I'm able to find it. It's also possible I was just too lazy to find it. But basically it illustrated the fact that the Magic were in a ton of close games this year, and they weren't very good in those close games, and they had, I think, the 3rd most losses in the league this year by 3 points or less. So like end of game clutch situations, that's been an issue for them all year, and Paolo was awesome all game, and then missed a couple shots down the stretch, and then Franz was the guy ultimately that takes the last shot, and Evan Mobley said, no.
Toward the basket. Puts it up, blocked by Mobley.
And honestly, this game had everything. Like, we had Darius Garland finally getting off to a great start in the first quarter, hit multiple threes in the first quarter. He's been bad all series long. Then we had Donovan Mitchell not really doing a whole lot. Then he left the game for a little bit, maybe might have been hurt, and then was just awesome in the fourth quarter. And I'll be honest, like, no disrespect to Cavs fans, I was a little bit disappointed. I'm not like a Magic fan, right? Like, I'm a Nets fan, but I definitely am like rooting for the Magic because I just think it'd be a cool story for them to advance, and that was their chance, man. Like, they're really good at home. They certainly struggle on the road, certainly in this series. This is the first road game in the entire series that has been close for either team. No Jared Allen. They had a chance in this one, man, and they just missed it. Am I missing something? Someone explain this to me. My only thought was yesterday's video, there were a lot of like close-ups of my face, and maybe they're saying like, I need some lotion? I don't know. These are the kind of comments that make me feel old. Speaking of old, Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton. Bucks Pacers last night, it's not even necessarily about the game. I mean, you can watch some of the game back here if you'd like to. It's not really about that, though. It's just a massive missed opportunity for the Pacers. Like, for a team that is so young, that has an opportunity to advance into the second round in 5 games and go ahead and start preparing for the next round of the playoffs, build up that confidence of just finishing off the series, and they're just not able to do it. The Milwaukee was awesome. They guarded extremely well. I think they're getting a lot of praise for their defensive game plan today. The other thing is the Pacers just finally stopped hitting 70% of their threes like they had the last couple of games. So that certainly is helpful when you're trying to win the basketball game. But just such a gigantic, massive missed opportunity for Indiana. And of course, I try not to hate too much on Doc Rivers, but his post-game pressers and the comments he makes afterwards are just, they're too much sometimes. Of course, he's immediately saying, Dame, Giannis, they're very close to returning. Look out, Pacers. Which, like, I kind of respect trying to intimidate Indiana a little bit, really put the pressure on them and make them realize how much of a missed opportunity this was. Up 3-1 in the series. Chris Middleton's hobbled. Brook Lopez is out there as like the second or third offensive option. No Dame, no Giannis. And you had a chance to just close it out. And yes, you still get more opportunities in the series, but like, it really, really felt like this was their chance. And I just want to say, like, this night of playoff basketball, all of these game 5s together, like, this is why we love the NBA. This is why we love the playoffs. Like, I know people love to complain all year long and in the offseason about how the NBA now is just about player movement. It's just about rumors. It's just about, the pregame fits. It's about all this other stuff that's not related to basketball. Well, last night was about the basketball, and my goodness, was it awesome basketball to watch. Like, depending on what happens the rest of the way in these series, these 3 games any one of them could be a iconic moment for any of these franchises. The Tyrese Maxey logo 3 to go to overtime to save the Sixers season. If they win the series, they might build a statue of Tyrese Maxey. Cavs, Mavs, Cavs, Magic. If the series continues the way it has gone and the Magic win at home and then the Cavs win at home, that might save the Donovan Mitchell era potentially in Cleveland. I personally still think that he's leaving, but like that might have saved the Donovan Mitchell era in Cleveland. Probably not, but like it could have saved the Donovan Mitchell era in Cleveland. And then Bucks Pacers, if the Bucks go on to win the series and then Giannis is healthy, they're going to be an absolute problem for somebody throughout the postseason, I'm sure, and also probably save the Doc Rivers era in Milwaukee, although that might not be a bad thing. I got a lot of comments like this yesterday, and it honestly shocked me because this thumbnail objectively is terrible. I just came up with a concept and was like, hey, what if I just did the KD, their next chapter meme and put LeBron and KD on the thumbnail? It looks terrible. It's not very well cut out. It's not very well put together, but that was just kind of the vibe. I was like, it's a silly, funny video. Let's try that. Loving your energy, bro. Bring back the beard, though. You kind of look like a Minecraft character without it. Hey. That's not very nice. Tucker, your mic is back there. That's not very nice. See you next time.